Good googly moogly. Hello, everybody. Okay, this is so wild, and you'll have to forgive me. I am late because I jumped on. I thought I had clicked start the live stream and did not. And for the past 24 minutes, I have been pouring my heart out in this commanding cash-a-thon call. I hope that you got it on the inners because I have been just teaching up a storm because I'm so excited about today. And I apologize if you are only able to watch this through the replay and missed it at noon. That is 100% my fault because I thought I clicked a button and did not click the button, my darling. But there's a button you can click, and that is if you want to leave a comment, be sure and grant StreamYard permission so that I can see your questions and comments. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to pretend like this hadn't happened before, but I don't like it anytime. So I'm going to take a little sip of water, give folks a chance to see the alert come up. And this is playing on YouTube and Facebook. And I'm going to go see if I can possibly share this in the Facebook group. I think I'm just going to have to roll with it and put the replay there. Oh my goodness sakes. So what are we doing today? What are we doing today? Well, we're commanding for cash money, honey. How much money are you commanding for? How much are you commanding for? Okay, do you know what your number is? All right, we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the steps to manifest your desires, and we're going to be holding a space together. Okay, so I always like to start off with a quote that's going to kind of frame our conversation. And it has to do with this, that each soul has the ability to manifest what they need, but fear, poverty, consciousness, conditioning, and often lack of education prevent many from manifesting what they need. And that's that Maitreya. I want you to understand something, that you are never not manifesting. Now, there's a big conversation about manifesting. Is it real? Can we really manifest or not? We are always manifesting. But there are different names for it, okay? There's prayer. There's focused action, right? There's where we're meditating, we're holding the intention. But for this, what we're talking about is we have made a decision about what we want. We're speaking life to that which we desire, and we're going to align our actions, thoughts, and emotions to the fulfillment of that desire. Okay? That's what we're doing. And it puts you in a different level of awareness. My mind's just being flooded with so many stories, but I come from a background of prayer, active prayer, where it was prayers of faith, and we would say it and we would claim it and say, like, thank you, this is happening, this is what we want to see, and we just praise you and bless you. That was really the format. And it was so powerful. I really got it in my mind, and it was so clear, the power of my thoughts and my words, and allowing my expectation to rise up to meet that. That one night I was riding with my mom and my sister. We were in a pickup truck, and we were on a highway. We were living in Texas and driving on the highway to get home, and a storm rolled in, and it was a big hailstorm. And we're driving in the truck, and all of a sudden we hear that first hit. Now in Texas, we'll get baseball-sized hail, and it's deadly. And when the rain started and it came in, we'd already been having a conversation about my sister's work, and I said, well, you know what you could do is you could just call and say, I'm really sick, I can't come to work today, because she just hated it. And that would give her a chance to look for another job. That was my big strategy. But then the next thing that happened is like, you know what? We're going to get through this safe. And we're like, Lord, thank you that we're safe. And we claim that our property is protected and that not even a tree branch is broken. And we just thank you in advance for that. And that was really it. Well, two things happened the next day. Number one, walked outside, and we had gone through a really horrendous hailstorm. And we're in the truck, we're driving, we made it into the house. There was not a single ding on the vehicle, but also we didn't even have a tree branch. There were some leaves and smaller things in the yard, but they had blown over. And all around our yard was destruction. The second thing that happened was I got deathly ill with a stomach virus all day long, and I was throwing up the very thing that I had spoken to my sister. And that made me realize that I really do have the power to speak. I really do have the power and responsibility that I can speak power, the outcome that I desire, or I can speak pain, sickness, loss. And that made me really conscious. But it does take time for us to learn to really start owning our words and speaking intentionally. Okay. And when we are doing the one command, we are not talking to God. We are talking, because that is triggering for a lot of people. I just want to explain this. And I worked with some processes where they said Father, Mother, God, and some where they just said higher self, and some spoke to the universe, some spoke to love. You're going to speak to that power that you resonate with. For me, I do. The universe and I have this relationship. It feels really personal. That I am not adverse or limited or blocked by God talk. Okay. So you are going to find your own connection and how you're holding that. Okay. But we are always manifesting, but we are not necessarily manifesting intentionally, and we are not necessarily understanding that there is a part of us that is fearful, that wants to be safe and loved, and that has been conditioned to be a good worker, to be a good child, to not make demands. No, don't ask for what you want. Be grateful for what you get, right? Because we don't want you to be selfish or greedy. That's what we tell kids. We have all that conditioning to overcome. So how can you identify your conditioning? Number one, notice how it feels when your needs are not getting met, when you don't have the money that you need, when you don't have the relationship, when you don't have security in your housing, when you feel like everything that you count on and depend on is out of your reach. Like right now, we're going through this in our country where it's like our leaders aren't listening to us, and that gives a lot of frustration, and people want to give up. We're going to talk about how to step into your authority so that your voice is heard, okay? And so that you are attracting and creating from a greater sphere of influence and your own power, okay? So let's go through the steps today. And I am still managing this. So we're going to be going through some steps here. I feel like I missed a slide. Here we go. Here's the steps we're going through. If you look in the comments section, and I have it in the description too, I have the worksheet that may be useful. I can't pull it up here. All right. But I did, let me pull it for you. Excuse me. Let me go ahead and get that for you, because I did have that pulled out and ready in the last call, but turned out it's not here. So I want to make sure you have it, okay? Thank you for your patience. I really do appreciate you. Yeah, that makes me, I feel a little bit clamped because I really had this all set, but who knows? Who knows? Okay. I'm going to put it in the comments. There we go. It's a Google Drive. And that's uploading right now. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to set our intention. What is it that you want to attract, create, or manifest? But it's the bigger picture, right? So if you want to manifest money, what is that serving? Is it your safety, security, freedom, right? And then we want to expand what's possible. Okay, so if you go, hey, I have an intention to live securely and free from worry, how are you going to do it? I'm going to do it by creating a flow of cash. You see how we set that up? Okay. Next, we're going to set the space. And what does that mean? We're going to make room in our life in this physical form, but also we're going to set space mentally and emotionally. Mentally and emotionally. Way back in the day when I was first in business with Asara Lovejoy, we had a little office in Riverside, California. And Asara on Sunday, she said, we're going to clean the office so that we can attract the highest and best clients, not just because it's dusty. She took that action, and as she was cleaning that space, she was rubbing it. She's like, oh, my people are just going to love sitting here, and oh, they're going to sit and look, and they're going to feel so comfortable, and it's going to be so easy for me to feel welcoming, and my office is going to be beautiful. And she'd set the energy and do Reiki, and she would speak love, and we'd hit the gong, right? We did everything so that we could raise the vibration on that space, but so that it matched the outcome that we desired. We're doing this so that, okay? Did you know the number one thing that stops people? I've been working with people for many years because I work with who I kind of call the chained magician. And that is that person who has these special gifts and talents, and they want to, pardon me, make a living from that. And we talk about how they could create a business based on their skills or talents. And we would brainstorm an idea, and here's the path, here's the map, we're going to get this done. And their first action would not be, let's bring this business into more form, like let's create some flyers and brochures, or let's at least get a sales page up, or we're not going to do any of that. They'd say, oh, but first I need to clean the clutter. But first I've got this back bedroom that's full of stuff. But first I've got to do that. Now, the thing with clutter, of course, you do need to get it clear, because it's a delayed decision, but also it's the past, and it's an emotional barricade, because it's all this unprocessed emotion, right? And of course, it would make sense that you would want to do that. But the other thing that is behind that is, Missy, no play for you. No dessert. You don't get to have anything you want until you clean your room. Right? And that stops a lot of people from exercising and doing things, because it's like, oh, I haven't got all my work done yet, so I can't go do the thing I really want. So rather than try to clean your whole house and, get your entire life in order before you start your business, clean a 4x4 space, get an office space, right? But the other way that you can do that is, and this is back in the olden days when, everything was more analog. But when we were cleaning that office, Asara made a physical space in the office to receive the checks and the cash. Here's this drawer is dedicated to that, and here's the cash box, which I can't even think of the last time I got cash money for my work, but I used to, and I loved it. I used to get envelopes full of cash. It was fantastic. But she dedicated that space. What was the other thing? We would set up our client files in advance. So if you are commanding for new clients, if your intention is to create a prosperous business, and what that looks like for you is, that you have $3,000 a month expenses, what you need to is create an energetic space of $9,000 a month or more income, because that's called the ratio of the golden mean, 1 to 3. Okay. So you want to increase that so you have the energetic space, right? But then what else would we do? We'd say, well, if that looks like 4 people a month. Okay, so I'm going to generate 4 people a month. If those 4 people showed up today, what needs to happen in order for me to be able to jump in and start serving them? That's creating the space. Okay, but we're not going to do all of that today, but your higher self may give you instructions on what do you need to do to best set the space. What's the best use of your time and energy in order to create that money? Now that is a little flip and some thinking, because if you come from, like me, I come from a blue collar working class background, but what brought my family up out of poverty was small businesses. But then we got to move into middle class. Well, when you're in poverty, you want to get out of debt. When you're middle class, you want to create more debt. You want to have more good credit ratings so that you can go buy more things. But then when you're wealthy, what you want to do is you want to have more time freedom, right? So that's why you already want to start reframing that and get out of how do I clear my debt. So when you're manifesting money, it's not to clear debt. You're manifesting money to create more time freedom. Who got an aha on that one? Who realized they're directing all their attention to clearing debt rather than creating the freedom they want? That's what we're doing, and that's what we're talking about in setting the space. Okay? Next, you want to step into your power, your authority. You know, when we talk back on that conditioning and what's actually running the show is that fearful, powerless part of yourself. How do you know? And if I've said this before, forgive me, because I just explained to some folks that I accidentally did a broadcast for 24 minutes where I did health teaching. But how do you know that you're in your powerlessness, and what is your limiting beliefs and programs? And what it is how do you feel when the money's not coming in? How does it feel when here's a big deadline coming and you don't see how to come up with a solution, when you don't know what action to take? How do you feel when it comes to getting your needs met? And whatever that small, limiting, painful, restrictive feeling is, that's what's actually running the show. So by stepping into your power and confidently declaring your desire, which is the next one, we're going to create space. And when we use the one command process, this is where the reprogramming your mind from a higher, greater space actually occurs. You literally don't know how, based on your old way of thinking, your old way of feeling, the way that you've conditioned yourself, how you could possibly be in this new space living in this greater potential. And what I say is between knowing, let's see, knowing is over here, not knowing is over here. Let there only be love. And so we are bringing in this higher vibration of love. We are creating that space, and we're expanding that space in order to receive greater understanding, to allow a new potential to arrive, and to release and unwind and let go of all of the conditioning. And all of this happens instantly, by the way. And to begin to rewind and align and allow that greater intelligence, your powerful self, to step forward. And guess what? It is your powerful self that's saying, we can do better, not your limited small self. It is your powerful self that says you deserve more, that you're worthy, that there is an answer here. And it's the one hugging you and loving you and kicking your butt and pinching your cheeks and encouraging you through this whole thing. So we're going to make space for that greater part of you to arrive. Okay? Let's see. Hey, do me a favor. I see we got some folks on. Can y'all give me a little hello? I'd love to get some comments. Thank you so much for joining with me. And you might see in the comments that there's the link for the handout for today. Then you're going to declare your desire, and we're going to do it with the one command statement, and I'll show you what that is. And then I'm going to take you through the 6 steps of the one command process. And then I'm going to have you, Andrea, hello. I'm going to have you, we're going to take a moment and have you visualize 3 scenes, or I call them vignettes, of your desire fulfilled. Okay? And so we're going to be intentionally creating and manifesting your desire. And because we're in this group together, what's going to happen is it magnifies it. And the beautiful thing about this is I want to encourage you to watch this video more than one time, because this teaching's like water. You're going to get something out of it every time, something new, as your capacity to understand expands. Okay. And of course, I always appreciate it if you share this with your friends. I'm actively growing my network. I had the opportunity to take a couple of years off and just rest and think about other stuff. And so I'm coming back and reconnecting with everybody. All right. So let's get to it. All right. So number one, I want to encourage you. Pardon me. First, I'm going to take a sip of water. I'm going to have you write down, and even if you don't have the worksheet, grab a piece of paper. We want to brain write. Okay. We want to connect your brain, because this is actually what will set it in. We will have a beautiful spiritual moment together. But if you really want it to affect a powerful change, you want to write it down and be able to see it so that you can track your progress. And that is one of the steps that we walk people through. Okay. So write down, what is your intention? What is that greater intention? So the way to phrase it is, I want to create a life of financial freedom. I want to create a life where I serve people at the highest, greatest good with my skills and talents. What is that? I want to create a life on my own terms where my time, effort, and energy is my own and it benefits me. What is that greater intention? Give yourself a moment to do that. And then how are you going to do that? So for me, I'm a creative, expressive person. I have spiritual gifts. I just wanted to create a life where I didn't have to go to a regular job, spend all my energy making money for everybody else, to where my time, effort, and energy created income for myself so that I was free to live and operate according to my gifts and help as many people as possible and have fun doing it. Right. And what did that look like? Well, first it looked like teaching seminars and workshops. That was my first vision. Later it was, did you know you could work with people one-on-one? It's like, what? And it took me about 5 years to get to that place that I could leap, because I didn't know anybody that was doing this kind of work. And then once I started getting it, then I just started learning. I became first a student of Asar Lovejoy, and then I said, I want to be mentored by you, and I committed everything. And I went through the old school apprenticeship model. That's how I learned. Okay, but I dedicated all my extra time and energy to being in these spaces, and I got to work with a lot of different healing modalities, and traveled all over the world and got to have a lot of experiences, right? And I have to say, it's gone better than I thought. All right. So what does that look like for you? You have your greater intention. What does that look like for you? Well, you might say, hey, I want to have my own business where I'm generating X amount of dollars, and I want to do that by having 4 to 10 clients a month, or I want a group, whatever that looks like, or I want to sell this product. Okay. And then, I'm going to be doing a training that takes us more down on this, but I just want to kind of give you the format. And now, if you know what that looks like, you're going to have an idea of what your dollar amount is. Now, you may have an immediate cash need. So if you need to generate $5,000, I want you to command for $15,000. Stretch it. You want to create a greater space, because gosh, if $5,020 came in, I don't guess you'd be too upset, right? How much happier would you be if you manifested 15,000? Way happier, right? Okay, great. All right, so we've got our intention, got our worksheets that are in the handouts. Then you're going to set the space. So when I said, hey, if you want to manifest 5,000, we're going to command for 15, that is setting space. That's energetic mental space. What can you do right now to just make some room around you? You might not do anything else rather than let yourself get grounded and fully occupy your body. But you know what? Suddenly I'm like, I've got a coffee cup here. I want that off. I want that off my desk. Y'all can't see it, but it's not lining up. So is there a little movement you need to make right now? Isn't that funny? Oh, wait. How do I have a notepad here? Suddenly that needs to go. That's going to go. I live with that notepad on my desk, but that's not aligning to what I want to do. Make your space right now. Okay? Yeah. Feel the room. I'm feeling it already, and I just moved two little objects. Okay, but we're going to set the space. And right now, you could also just picture, visualize, or imagine that you're standing in a pole of light. And you're going to actively receive right through your own body. Now, what I'm demonstrating for you is you must do 1, 2, 3. I'm demonstrating, hey, here's how you find out what's best for you. Who's feeling that shift in that energy? Great. Now, I want you to stand in your power. Do you remember me telling you that what's been running the show is that small, powerless part of you, that fearful part of you? At the start of this, I told a story about, hey, there was a sneaky, conniving part of me that said, I can't tell the truth. And so I told my sister to lie about why she couldn't go into her job that she didn't like. Which, hey, give me a break. I was 19, okay? But that was the best strategy, because that was my strategy as a scheming, conniving kid, because I had to manipulate and act good and play a game in order to get my needs met, right? And so that's how I met the world. But then there was this greater part of me that was speaking what I truly desired, had a clear vision from it, and both manifested. But I was in an awareness of, hey, I manifested the sickness just as easily as I manifested this incredible miracle of a hailstorm not damaging our vehicles or any of our property. Both existed. But I could have said, oh my gosh, if I was powerless, oh my gosh, why is it every time something good happens, something bad happens? That's my powerless self happening. But if I was in my power, I was also in the observer, and I paid attention to, wow, I had two results by doing the same thing, by what I spoke and what I felt and what I was seeing was happening. So I did it without judgment. So I came into that decision of what is the truth of my power is my spoken word. Now I'm going to stand in that power. And I'm going to stand in it in faith. And I am going to make mistakes because my conditioning's unwinding. As I grow in my power, I'm going to become more aware of how I'm using my old programming. Right? So I want to invite you to remember your power. And it could be a time from the past. It could have just been a moment. But I want you to think about a time that you created, attracted, or manifested, and you knew it was because of something you said or did. And don't judge. We could say positive or negative, but please just notice how you created that. Now I'm going to witness that with you. The truth of your strength and your power. I see you. I absolutely know that you are powerful. You're more powerful than you know. And you're awesome. And I love you. Then you're going to declare your desire. What do you desire? You know what? If you're tired of struggling, and you've just been on the edge financially, and your desire is to create an X amount of dollars, and it seems unreasonable, it is not unreasonable. It may take a little longer time, or it could be instant. But whatever it takes, even if there's stops or gaps, it's what's necessary for your learning and for you to get readjusted so that you can step into the embodiment of the fulfillment of that desire. But you got to own it. You got to say it. So what do you desire? Who felt a little afraid? Who felt nervous the first time you spoke up when you said it? Did it feel too big? Did it feel too small? Just notice and say it anyway. So that desire is going to be turned into a one command statement. So if you want to create an extra, let's say $10,000 this month, it would be, I don't know how I easily create an extra $10,000 income this month. Yeah, June. Or in the next 30 days. I only know I have that $10,000 in my bank account now, and I am fulfilled. Practice saying it out loud, whatever your command is. Now, I want to make sure I say this, and if it's a repeat, please forgive me. We are spending way too much time not declaring our desire. We're not saying what we want, we're speaking what we don't want. We're saying, I don't know how my debt is, this debt is paid off. I don't know how I'm debt free. And that could be something, but the thing is, you've got to create. You actually don't care because multimillionaires, they understand that there's good debt and bad debt. So I don't know how. What'll happen is you'll start creating and recreating debt, and it'll become like that clutter conversation. You can't have what you want because you haven't taken care of, right? You have this clutter, so miss, you can't go have that business you want. You can't make more money until you get rid of the bad money that bad promise, right? But please, I want to let you know that if you have the capacity to create $25,000 in debt, 3 times 25 is 75,000. You have the capacity to instantly create and manifest $75,000 income to clear that debt. And where you need to put your attention is on the 75,000, not the 25. Okay? So be in the what you truly want, and you want to be in that freedom, that space of freedom, right? So do not worry about debt being paid or anything else, because if I said it before, poor people worry about getting their bills paid. They want to get out of debt. Middle class people want to acquire more credit so that they can acquire more things. And rich people want more time freedom. That's why you want to align to the time freedom, not the get out of debt, not try to get more credit. Okay? That's how you're going to align yourself to that greater good. All right? So now we're going to go through the 6 steps of the one command. I want to pause. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Because we're about to go through the one command process. I see some folks are just tuning in. Hello. This replay will be available immediately so that you can watch it all over again. Man, I wish I'd been able to record that first 24 minutes that I accidentally talked through the whole time. All right, let's get to it. So we have our command. I'm going to be making some other commands for you, but I want to invite you to picture, visualize, or imagine that you're like a tree. Close your eyes. Hey there, Aunt Emily. And then at the base of your spine is the trunk of the tree, and you have long roots going down into the earth, grounding you into the earth. And I want to invite you to allow that beautiful earth energy to come up through your feet, into your knees, into your hips. And then I want to invite you to become aware of the pole of light that is coming down through the top of your head, and it's running down channels down either side of your spine. And it's going all the way down through the earth. And as that earth energy comes up through your body, up that creative life force energy from the earth coming up through your body, through your hips, up your spine, in your shoulders, down your arms, that spiritual life force energy is coming down through your body. And at your heart, that energy is beginning to mix and mingle and blend as it aligns to your highest and greatest good in service to your desired outcome. As you're aligning to your intention and the way you want your intention fulfilled, I just want to invite you to become aware of the fact that there's a lot of helpers, seen and unseen, that are already supporting you. It could be angels and guides, it could be ancestors, but it could just be people in your world that you aren't aware of yet, that you haven't thought of, or you just haven't met them yet. But they're already there, ready to help you fulfill your desire. Eyes closed. I want to invite you to roll your eyes up as if you're trying to look up to the top of your head and picture, visualize, or imagine that you're traveling up a pole of light. And the higher you go, the faster you go, and soon you find yourself surrounded by the beautiful, velvety, black void of space. And in the distance, you may see a little pinprick of light and break through the darkness into the light of pure, open potential. Eyes closed, still pointing up. Let your body relax. Remember to breathe. And you can either silently follow along or say it out loud. I'm going to start the sentence and you're going to fill in the blank. I don't know how then state your command. I only know it is so now, and I am fulfilled. Then you're going to let that go. Let your eyes relax. Let that expand that out to an idea even greater that serves more good in its fulfillment. You're actually going to expand your capacity to know, understand, and receive, and act upon that knowing. Now roll your eyes back up temporarily, because a question or concern has come up, or it could be a qualifier. So let's go ahead and address it with a command. I don't know how I only know it's so now, and I am fulfilled. I don't know how this is coming in for you. I don't know how I have a millionaire mind that values my time, effort, and energy and easily leverages all my assets, including my debt, to serve me and make me richer than I ever knew possible. I only know I am richer than I ever knew possible now, and I am fulfilled. I don't know how. I have a steady stream of clients that love and appreciate my work, that line up for my work. And I only know that I have a full roster now and I am fulfilled. And I don't know how. I came to be an opportunity magnet where amazing deals and opportunities and investments come to me, and I know exactly what to say yes to. I know when to say yes, and I am the master of timing. I only know it's so now, And I am fulfilled. Yeah, baby, we said commanding cash-a-thon. That's what we're doing. Now let all that expand to an idea even greater. It serves more good in its fulfillment. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Now to start, bring your attention to your heart. Start actively receiving. Start saying, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you. Oh, you're going to receive, receive, receive. And as this new state of being arrives, we're just going to let that old beliefs and programs about having to be good and hard work and struggle and earning and worthiness and all these deals you make with your internal devil, we're just going to let all that go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And then just allow the new ideas to begin to arrive. And we're just going to rewind and integrate these new thoughts, that new potential. Now keep your eyes closed just for a second. Keep your eyes closed because now as you're coming back in and you've made the command, you want to picture, visualize, or imagine the fulfillment of your command. And the easiest way to do that is to create 3 little scenes or vignettes of what it would look like. And you want to add what it would feel like when your desire is manifested. So think about that client calling you and you quoting a price and they go, yeah, how do I get you your money? Or getting a call or a letter from the bank like one of my clients did, who said, your debt, your second lien on your house is forgiven. Or the call out of the blue, like another client who said she was ready for her business to expand, and Walmart called her and wanted her to be a vendor for them. And she did get a little freaked out. We had to do some work with her so that she could expand her capacity to be that successful. What would that look like for you? And those little vignettes, those are the key. Those are the secret. Neville Goddard talks about that. In seeing that desire fulfilled, right? So now tune in and do a check, an internal check, and you can open your eyes. But as you think about your command, what do you know now that you didn't know before? Do you know what was stopping you? Do you know where you were getting held up? Just tune into that. Write that down. Okay? Make a little note for yourself. You might realize, hey, there's this family program. I've been telling myself not yet, or I've got some resentment, or I've been telling myself I'm not good enough, rather than trusting that greater part of me to lead me through. Or I know I've been wanting to do this and I just haven't been taking action. I've been making excuses. What do you need to remember? Just what do you know now that you didn't know before? And please be sure and keep a journal of your commands. That's where those sheets will help, because you can keep track of, hey, not only of what you commanded, but you want to keep track of your wins and the things that you did manifest, because people literally forget that they're manifesting masters and that they're generating incredible things. And so maybe there'll be something that happens, go, dang it, I knew it. I said it would happen. I had the feeling, and you didn't take care of it, right? That's how you're going to learn. And then we always say the 7th step is inspired action, where you think and act as if your command is done and your intuition will guide you to the next steps. Now, the way to do this is it's like an active feeling. Like some people go, no, I was told just to wait. But it's kind of like when we're waiting for Christmas. You know, it's like, hey, we can't open the presents yet, but what can we do? Well, We're going to get the house clean. We're going to make sure that we got trash bags so we can throw away the wrapping or whatever. But there's that feeling of expectancy, right? If you feel like it's a pause, but if it's, hey, call somebody, do it as soon as possible. Don't wait for the time to be perfect. Do it as quickly as possible. But your intuition will guide you to the next steps. Okay? Hey, was this helpful? Was this helpful to you? I want to be sure and mention that we do have the weekly virtual Commanding Will Circle. Every week it's Tuesday at noon, and we go into depth and we actually work more on your specific command, and it's free, and it's part of the TOC Money Mindset Mastery Group. So if you haven't joined yet, please be sure to join. Okay? All right. And then let me see. What else do I say? But thank you. If you want to get in on the mailing list, I would ask you to send me a private message and with your email address through Facebook or through YouTube, and I will give you the link to get onto the mailing list so that you can get access to all these calls. I'm in the process of gathering up all of my calls from like the last 15 years. I had somebody say, Catherine, you did this amazing meditation. Is there more? And I said, gosh, let me look because I've just done so much. I found 78 recordings of these daily calls I was doing for 20 minutes a day that were just to manifest, manifest, manifest. And so I was able to send that to her. And so I'm organizing all of that. And I'm just putting the word out there. One, if you want to be able to get access to those, send me a message. I'm building that page now. But hey, if you have some of my old recordings or programs in your, I don't know, Dropbox or whatever, if you could send them to me, I would appreciate that too. Okay? Was this helpful today? Did you get what you came for? All right, my love. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Until next time, this is Catherine Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and I witnessed your mastery. Bye. Bye, everybody.